This will define everything for what we can expect for the rest of the season from the Buffalo Bills. So let's talk about it all right here. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Bills Digest. I'm your host, Anthony Senicar, and we are so close to the season opener against the Baltimore Ravens on Sunday Night Football, but there's only one issue. 73% of you guys who are watching this video right now are not subscribed to the channel. Subscribe, join the army here at Bills Digest to stay in touch all season with all your latest Bills news, because we got you guys covered from wall to wall. And like I said, guys, this Ravens game will define what the season will look like for the Bills. This is a new look Buffalo Bills. The Bills reworked their offense, reworked their defense, and now we are going to put it against the test against arguably the best team in the AFC. Let's kick it off as we usually do. Let's take a look at that injury report, because there are some injuries on both teams, some major ones in major positions. Let's start it off with the Bills. Tyler Bass is still hurt with his left hip, left groin. He did not practice on Thursday. Christian Benford had a light practice on Wednesday, but a full participant on Thursday, so that is a good sign. Dwayne Carter did tear his ACL or his Achilles, so he is out for the season. They're still keeping him on the team so they can call up someone and it doesn't go towards the cap for the whole year. So he will go to IR after the Ravens game, but as of right now, he is out completely, and it's just a cap movement that the Bills are doing. Then you got Khalil Shakir with his ankle that's still bugging him. He was a full participant on Wednesday and Thursday. Trey White did not practice Wednesday, did not practice Thursday, still is hurting from the injury he suffered in training camp, so we'll see if he'll play. He's going to be a game-time decision. Elijah Moore had a personal day and then did not practice on Thursday. So again, he's going to play. It was just a personal absence. Then with the Baltimore Ravens, their big signing in the offseason from the Green Bay Packers, Jair Alexander, with a light practice on Wednesday and a full participant on Thursday. So he is going to play. Their offensive guard was sick, but again, he was a full participant on Thursday. And Isaiah Likely, their backup tight end, and Patrick Ricard, their starting fullback, both did not practice on Wednesday and Thursday. So that is leaning more towards both of them not playing. And that is very interesting because Ricard is a big part of that running attack for the Baltimore Ravens. On the big touchdown run on the first offensive snap for the Ravens in that regular season game where Derrick Henry busted it to the house, Ricard had the big block on Terrell Bernard. He is a big lead blocker and just a big aspect of the run game in Baltimore. So we'll see what that looks like now without him most likely not playing. And Isaiah Likely, the Ravens have a 1-2 punch at tight end with Likely and with Mark Andrews. So if Likely is out, it's going to be a lot of work for Mark Andrews. So we'll see how that works out. Listen, this is a matchup we saw last year. The Bills team is very different than it was this time last year in early January. The Bills reworked their receiver room and reworked their defense. They got a new defensive line. Their secondary is different. They brought in Trey White, so we'll see if he plays or not. And sorry guys, it's a little fired up. If we go back to that game in January, the Bills started off the first half strong. They looked very good. The Ravens bounced back slowly in that second half. And if it weren't for Mark Andrews dropping that 2-point conversion, that game was going to be tied with the ball in Josh Allen's hand. So we'll see how this works out for the Bills and Ravens. The series last year was split 1-1. The Bills won, obviously, the more important game in the playoffs that led them to the AFC Championship, where Baltimore absolutely whooped Buffalo's behind in that regular season contest. The Ravens have a very run-heavy offense. Derrick Henry is one of the best running backs in the league, and we will see how that matches up against this new Bills defensive line. Looking at this new look defense and offense. We'll start on the defensive side of the ball. You obviously got the cornerstone in Christian Benford, Greg Rousseau still there. Matt Milano now is going to be fully healthy with a full training camp and year under his belt. You got TB still manning the middle of the backfield. You have Cole Bishop, who looks like is going to be the starting safety opposite of Taylor Rapp. Last year they had Hamlin. Now the Bills are working in Cole Bishop. He did not practice as much in training camp dealing with that injury, so we'll see how that works out and see if the Ravens really pick on Cole Bishop in that secondary. And then this graphic has Trey White, but we will see what happens if Trey doesn't play. Obviously, the Bills drafted Hairston in the first round of the NFL draft. He injured himself in training camp. He is on IR currently. They brought in Trey White, who was gone away last year, was on the Ravens this time last year, in the playoff game last year. So if Trey is not good to go, it is going to be either Jamarcus Ingram or the 7th round rookie. I have a feeling that Jamarcus Ingram is going to get the start opposite of Christian Benford, and obviously we got Taron Johnson in the slot, and you got a reworked defensive line where you got Joey Bosa, the big free agency acquisition. You got TJ Sanders, the rookie, and then you obviously got Big Ed and Daquan Jones. So we will see how this new look defensive line goes. If Joey Bosa can get after the quarterback, this could be a very interesting matchup. If Joey Bosa takes over and becomes the old Joey Bosa that he was, this could be a very interesting season and interesting game for the Bills. Because let's not forget, when the Bills first signed Von Miller, he looked like a game wrecker still. He tore his ACL against the Lions. But those first few weeks where he was back and at full health, this defense will completely different. We will see finally if Joey Bosa can get back to his previous form, and that could be a major game changer for the Bills. And then looking at the offensive side of the ball, still the same O-line, still the same running back, still the same MVP quarterback, but the receiver room is very different now. You got a second-year Keon Coleman on the outside. You got Joshua Palmer, who the Bills signed in free agency from the LA Chargers. You got Khalil Shakir in the slot after that big contract. You have Elijah Moore also as a backup. You got Curtis Samuel, who is going to be a gadget guy. And you guys also have the training camp Cinderella story in Tyrell Shavers. So very interesting to see what this new look offensive receiver core looks like and what the next step is for this everybody eats mentality. Because the Bills looked really good in that playoff game in the first half against the Ravens and then kind of stalled out. So we'll see how it goes from there. And as always, guys, let's go take a look at the Ravens side of the ball. Let's start off with the offense. I got the 2024 stats. The Ravens obviously finished the season 12-5, first in the AFC North, bowed out to the Bills in the divisional round. They were third in the league in points per game at 30.3, first in the league with the best rushing attack in the league, averaging about 193.8 yards per game. Passing attack, top tier at 233 passing yards per game. Yards per game, just a career year or a legendary year for the Ravens with that offensive attack with 427 yards per game of offense. Third down rate, second best in the league at 49.51%. So pretty much every point last year, if they got the third down, 50% of the time they were getting that first down. And in the red zone, a 75% efficiency rating, which is phenomenal. And Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry and these guys did not turn the ball over last year in the regular season, as they averaged about 0.6 turnovers per game. But let's not forget, in that playoff game, the Ravens shot themselves in the foot a few times, which helped the Bills out. And that is what's going to be the key for this Bills offense that's going to be the key for this Bills defense against the Ravens offense. When you got a two-time MVP in Lamar Jackson, you got a Hall of Fame running back in Derrick Henry, who almost had 2,000 yards rushing over the age of 40. You have a top 15, top 20 receiver in Zay Flowers. You got D-Hop, who they just signed this offseason, who is still going to be a good receiving threat. You got a top 5 tight end in Mark Andrews. You have a very good O-line. And I think the way that the Bills defense can really set the tone for this game is turnovers. Force Lamar into uncomfortable situations to make throws that he doesn't want to make and capitalize off turnovers. That is what won you the game last year. Control the run game. Do not lose the battle in the line of scrimmage against Derrick Henry and this whole line, and force Lamar into difficult passes and turnovers and let them shoot themselves in the foot. Now, going on to the Ravens' defensive side of the ball, a very good defense, a passing defense that had issues last year, but they shored it up. They brought in Jair Alexander. They drafted a safety. They still have Kyle Hamilton, who's one of the best safeties in the league. So we will see what this new look Ravens pass defense looks like. Rushing defense, one of the best in the league, if not the best in the league. And the 10th rated defensive unit last year. I think they've gotten better than they were last year, so it's going to be interesting to see how this Bills offense goes up against this Ravens defense. Josh has to play a clean game, no turnovers. Do not shoot yourselves in the foot. Let the Ravens do that. Capitalize off turnovers if you get any, and keep on putting up points. Let this everybody eats mentality take that next step. Feed guys, take opportunities when you can. Keon's in his second year. The stories out of camp are saying that he's taken a next step, so let's see that on the field. Jimbo, you are a third down back or 3 down back for this team, in my opinion, with the contract you signed. Let's see how that works out. Josh, you're the MVP. Keep doing your thing. And let's see what these new receiver room looks like. I'm excited to see what Joshua Palmer is going to look like on the outside. I'm very excited to see what Elijah Moore is. That could be very interesting to see how he fits in this offense. And listen, I am still excited to see a healthy Curtis Samuel in this offense. We saw a bit of what Joe Brady wanted to do with him last year, and then he got injured. So let's see what that step is for Curtis Samuel, because this is a very crucial stretch of games, because once we have guys start to come off IR, Curtis Samuel could get traded because of that cap hit. So let's see what happens. I'm very excited to see what this is going to look like. And this is a defining moment for the Bills. Listen, I am going into this game assuming that the Bills are going to have their hands full. You have a new work defense. You have a young secondary with, you don't know right now, as of right now when we're recording this video, who is going to be cornerback number 2 with Trey White injured, Hairston hurt. It could be Jamarcus Ingram. Cole Bishop didn't get a lot of reps in training camp, and Sean McDermott stressed this a lot, saying he wanted to see him and Taylor Rapp play together. Didn't get too much, so we'll see how it goes. But if the Bills can capitalize off turnovers, play the same type of game they played in that playoff game, the Bills have an opportunity to win this game. It is the first game of the season, but this is going to set the bar of what the Bills can expect for the rest of the season. If the defense looks pretty good, the offense looks like it did last year, and it's a close game, then I am going to be very hopeful of what the Bills season looks like. If they get blown out, listen, it happened last year, and look what happened in the playoffs. So, again, I want to see improvement on the defensive side of the ball. The Bills put a lot of assets into the defense. I want to see Sean McDermott take another step as a coach a smart game, and come out with obviously a gritty win or just a very tight, close game. I'm fully expecting it's going to be a shootout. I'm expecting something along the lines of 38-35 or something along the lines of that. But we'll see what happens. I think this is going to be an all-time game. But let me know your thoughts below, guys. I want to hear your guys' score prediction. I'd love to hear from you guys. What are you guys' thoughts? Do you guys think the Bills are ready for the Ravens? Do you guys think the Ravens are going to steamroll the Bills? And what are you guys most excited for seeing with this new look Bills? Are you excited about the receiver room, the new defensive line, what the secondary looks like? Let me know down below in the comments. As always, guys, please like and subscribe. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, so let's get past that mark and keep the ball moving. Stay in touch here at Bills Digest for all your latest Bills news, because we got you guys covered from wall to wall. And as always, guys, go Bills.